Please help me reach 1,000 subscribers. Please subscribe to my channel Painful Promises. Your support means a lot. Like, share, and turn on the notification bell. Enjoy the video. I'm 25 years old now, and my ex is 27. We were together for almost 3 years. It wasn't some fairy tale romance, but it was steady, comfortable. People always told me I was lucky to have him, and honestly, I believed it too. Then everything shattered. The day I found out he was cheating started like any other. I had gone over to his apartment after work. He said he needed to take a shower and left his phone on the bed. While he was in the bathroom, his phone kept vibrating. At first, I ignored it. I was never the type to go through someone's phone. I trusted him completely. But the notifications didn't stop, one after another. And something about that felt off. Finally, I picked it up. And that's when I saw it. Last night was amazing. I miss you already. I froze. I read it again, slower this time, hoping I misunderstood. But deep down, I already knew. My hands felt cold as I opened the conversation. There were messages from the night before, the same night he told me he was exhausted and going to bed early. Instead, he had been with another woman. There were photos too. Nothing graphic, but more than enough to confirm the truth. When he walked out of the bathroom, I was still sitting on the bed, holding his phone. He looked at me, and immediately knew. "What's wrong?" he asked. I didn't say a word. I just handed him the phone. He glanced at the screen, then back at me. For a few seconds, he said nothing. Then he sighed and sat down. "It's not what you think," he muttered. I stared at him. "Then what is it?" He ran his hand through his damp hair. "It didn't mean anything. It just happened." "You lied to me," I said quietly. He tried to move closer. "I didn't want to hurt you. But you did anyway." That's when the apologies started. He called it a mistake. Said it wouldn't happen again. Said he loved me. I listened. But I had already made my decision. "I can't stay," I told him. He looked shocked. "You're just going to leave like that?" I nodded. "Yes." He kept talking, trying to calm me down, telling me to think it through. But I stood up and started packing my things. He followed me around the room. "You're overreacting," he said at one point. "It was just one time." I stopped and looked straight at him. "Don't do that. Don't try to make this seem small." After that, he went quiet. When I finished packing, I grabbed my bag and headed for the door. He called my name. "So that's it." I opened the door. "That's it." And I walked out. That night, I cried like everything inside me was breaking. By morning, I told myself it was over for good. But even as I said it, I knew something wasn't true. I had left him. But my feelings hadn't left with me. After the breakup, I tried to stay strong. The first few days were brutal. I was so used to talking to him daily that the silence felt unnatural. I kept checking my phone without even realizing it. Sometimes I'd open our old messages, then quickly close them again. I didn't block him. I convinced myself I didn't need to. For almost 3 weeks, he didn't reach out. Then one evening around 9 p.m., his name appeared on my screen. "I know I don't deserve a reply, but I miss you." I stared at the message for a long time. I didn't respond. A few minutes later, another one came in. "I think about you every day." Still nothing from me. That night, I barely slept. The next morning, more messages. "I'm sorry for everything. I messed up. I just want to talk." I kept telling myself not to reply. I even typed something once, then deleted it. By the 4th day, I gave in. "What do you want?" He replied instantly. "I just want to see you. Please." I hesitated. I knew it was a bad idea. Nothing had changed. He had already shown me who he was. But I missed him. Not just him, but the routine, the comfort, the way things used to feel. "I don't think that's a good idea," I replied. "I understand," he said. "But I promise I just want to talk. No pressure." I stared at that message longer than I should have. In my mind, I was already making excuses for him. Maybe he really regrets it. Maybe people do make mistakes. Maybe I'm being too hard on him. 2 days later, I agreed to meet him. We met at a small restaurant near my apartment. The moment I saw him, something inside me softened instantly. He looked the same, but also different. Quieter. He stood up when I walked in. "Hey," he said. "Hi," I replied, sitting down. At first, we talked about normal things, work, traffic, random topics. For a moment, it felt like nothing had ever happened. Then he looked at me seriously. "I'm really sorry," he said. I nodded but stayed silent. "I messed up," he continued. "I hurt you. And I regret it." Still, I didn't respond. "I ended it," he added. I frowned slightly. "Ended what?" "The other girl. It's over." I held his gaze. "Why should I believe you?" "You don't have to," he said quietly. "I just want a chance to prove it." I sighed. "You already had a chance." "I know," he said. "I just want one more." We sat there in silence. Then he reached for my hand. And I didn't pull away. That was my first mistake. "I miss you," he said. I looked down at our hands. "I miss you too." After that, things moved fast. We started talking again, texts, calls, then seeing each other in person. Soon, we were back to visiting each other's places. We told ourselves we were just figuring things out. But deep down, we both knew the truth. Nothing had been fixed. We had just picked up where we left off. The first time we slept together again, I remember lying there afterward, staring at the ceiling. He pulled me closer. "I've missed this," he said. I didn't respond. Because in that moment I realized something important. I had forgiven him with my actions, even though my heart hadn't caught up yet. And I was already in deeper than I planned to be. Weeks passed. We fell into a routine, talking, laughing, watching movies, acting like everything was normal. But sometimes, in quiet moments, I remembered the truth. The messages. The lies. Still, I pushed those thoughts away. I kept telling myself, "We're not officially back together. We're just talking. We're figuring things out." That's how I justified everything. One night, I finally asked him, "So, what exactly are we?" He smiled slightly. "We're taking things slow." That answer meant nothing. "Are you seeing anyone else?" I asked. He paused, then said, "No." I studied his face for a moment. "Okay," I said. And just like that, I chose to believe him. Time went on. He became more consistent. Calling more, checking in during the day. "Did you eat? How was work? Did you get home safe?" Small things. But they mattered. He seemed more present too, more attentive, more engaged. One evening I told him, "You've changed." "In a good way or bad way?" he asked. "In a good way." He nodded. "I told you I was serious about changing." And slowly, I let my guard down. I started focusing on who he was becoming, instead of who he had been. In my mind, I rewrote the story. Maybe people really do change. Maybe this was his wake-up call. Maybe losing me made him realize my worth. I even defended him in my own thoughts. At least he came back. At least he's trying. But then, everything fell apart again. One day at work, my phone buzzed. I ignored it at first. Then it buzzed again. I picked it up, expecting it to be him. But it was an unknown number. I opened the message. "Stop texting my boyfriend. He's moved on. You should too." My heart dropped. I stared at the screen. Then I replied, "Who is this?" The response came instantly. "You know exactly who I am." My chest tightened. "I don't," I said. Then she replied, "I'm his girlfriend." Everything went silent around me. "I'm his girlfriend." I read it over and over again. Finally, I typed, What do you mean? We've been together for a while, she said. I saw your messages. Stop bothering him. I felt sick. I think you should talk to your boyfriend, I replied. I already did, she said. He told me everything. I paused. What exactly did he tell you? Her reply came. He said you've been obsessed with him since the breakup. That you keep calling and showing up. That he's been trying to ignore you. I just stared at the screen. Obsessed? Forcing myself into his life? Everything from the past few weeks replayed in my head. The calls. The visits. The way he held me. And now this. I didn't know about you, I typed. That's not what he said, she replied. And in that moment, everything finally became clear. He hadn't just been lying. He had rewritten the entire story to protect himself and paint me as the problem. Story continues seamlessly with same tone, preserving full content. In the end, I blocked him everywhere. No more calls. No more chances. No more lies. A few days later, I heard he even tried reporting her to the police after she damaged his car, but nothing came of it. Apparently, her family had connections. When I heard that, I just laughed. Because by then, I didn't care anymore. For the first time, I wasn't doubting myself. Yes, I made a mistake going back. That part was on me. But everything after that, that was on him. He created the mess. I just refused to cover it up. And now, I'm done with men like him. No second chances. No, let's try again. No explanations. Lesson learned. The hard way.